Hi, I'm Cecilia. Welcome to the Lord's Prayer. This is a series that has been going on for a few weeks now, and we have been tackling the Lord's Prayer, which is found in the Sermon on the Mount in the book of Matthew, chapter 5 all the way to chapter 7. But the Lord's Prayer is found in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 9 to 13. And we have been going through the series, and today it is the last episode of this series, where we are going to tackle the last statement, which says, "For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory." And with that, we are coming to the end of this series. I hope you have learned a lot from it, and if there's anything you want to add to the whole series, please write it down in the comment section so that we can learn from each other. And we are going to look at the last petition that he told them, which was, "For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever," which is found in Matthew chapter 6 verses 13. So what does that statement actually portray? In reflecting upon it, I realized it portrays the sovereignty of God, because once you're praying to him, once you pray, it's supposed to end with your firm belief, your firm faith that actually you're not just praying to any God, you're not praying to a calf god, you're not praying to the stars, you're not praying to the universe, you're not just praying to anyone or anything that is somewhere out there that you're not sure about who he is and the authority that he holds, so that he's able to reply or respond to the petitions that you have made, but you are praying to the sovereign God, whose everything is, the kingdom is all his, the kingdom of heaven, even the kingdom of the world. He owns all these things. And the power, meaning that he's able to perform all that we are asking of him. And the glory, meaning all the glory of what has happened or is happening or will happen, goes to him, so that he does not share his glory. He is the only God. So we are speaking about the sovereignty of God, because it is written in the word of God that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So that when we are praying to someone who is sovereign over all, not someone who has to ask permission or someone who is sharing his glory with others. We're not praying to one of the Greek gods who one is in charge of one thing, another one is in charge of, they're multiple, so each one has its own domain of where it tackles. But here we're praying to one God who has domain over every other thing that surrounds us, that surrounds the earth, that surrounds the world, that surrounds the universe. All that is in the heaven, in the earth, and even below the earth is submissive to his glory, or is submissive to his power and his might, or his sovereignty. He does not only control a part of the world, some part of it, or some part of your life, or some part of who you are. No, he has authority over it all. The whole universe is under his power. Nothing surprises him. He orders the course of this world, so that from the rising of the sun to the setting of the same, from the light of the moon to the stars in the sky, the galaxies upon galaxies that many have not yet been discovered, from the fishes of the sea and everything else, from the waters, from the mountains, from the hills, from the valleys, from the human heart, the human mind, everything that concerns the world and everything he created is all under his hands, under his power. We read from Genesis 1:1 that from Genesis chapter 1, that he created the whole universe. He created it all. So everything else that he created, because him being the creator, he is in control of it all. So that nothing surprises him. Nothing is above him. Nothing is beyond him. Nothing is too difficult for him. Nothing is impossible for him. So you're praying to someone who is powerful, someone who is glorified, someone who has the rule over the whole kingdom of man and the whole kingdom of the world. And as it is written, the Lord of hosts has sworn, "As I have planned, so shall it be, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand." Isaiah 14 verse 24, where it says that he is the one who has sworn that what he has planned, it will be, and what he has purposed, it shall stand. So we see the sovereignty of God. And also we see it also in another passage that says, "It is he who sits above the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants are like grasshoppers, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain and spreads them like tent to dwell in." This speaks of the sovereignty of God, how he is above everything else, in Isaiah 40:22. And also he says, "I am the Lord who made all things, who alone stretched out the heavens, who spread out the earth by myself." That is also found in Isaiah 44:24. He also says in another passage, "I am the Lord, and there is no other. Besides me, there is no God. I equip you, though you do not know me." That is Isaiah 45:5. He also says, "I form light and create darkness. I make well-being and create calamity. I am the Lord who does all these things." Found in Isaiah 45 verse 7. And he also goes ahead to say, "Yours is the day, yours also the night. You have established the heavens, light and the sun. You have fixed all the boundaries of the earth. You have made summer and winter, found in Psalm 74:16 and 17. So all these passages tell us the control that God has over everything that he created. He is the sovereign God. So that as you pray the Lord's Prayer, as you take the example of the Lord's Prayer and go before God in praying, you have the confidence, you have the assurity, you have the faith, the belief that you are not just praying to any other God who has no control of anything that you're asking of him, but you're going before God who created the whole world, who planned the course of each person and the course of the world. You know, it says in Proverbs that many are the plans in the man's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that will be established. To know that even as you go before God, you're thinking of what you want, as you pray out what you will that God will do for you, you also understand that it is God's purpose that will ultimately stand firm, so that as you pray you also have the confidence that his will is perfect for your life, because he ordained and ordered your life as it is right now. And also as you pray and petition before God, you are sure that he is capable of doing or accomplishing what you want him to do, so that you're not just praying to an empty God who has no ears, who has no eyes that to see, who has no mouth to speak, who has no hands to get into action and do what you want him or you require of him to do. So you're praying to a sovereign God who has everything in the world and beyond the world that you can see under the palm of his hands. You know, by his voice things came to be. You know, he said let there be light and there was light, let there be this and there was that. So if he has the power to proclaim things that do not exist into existence, how much more what you are asking of him right now? So that as you say, for yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory, you are declaring with your own mouth that I am praying to the sovereign God, I am praying to the God of the universe, I'm praying to someone who can hear me when I talk, I'm praying to someone who sees me with in the situation that I am in. I'm praying to the one who can speak into my situation and say something or say a word or speak a word to bring life, to bring light to my life right now. I am speaking to someone who controls the courses of this world, who says the night come and the day comes, who orders the day and orders the night, who orders the fishes of the sea, who orders you're waking up and you're sleeping, you're lying down, and everything else that concerns you, God is in control of it. Also, you're not just praying to an empty, you're not just making, as you pray, you're not just making empty phrases, or you're not just making phrases to an empty God or a God that is not there. It's not like the time of Elijah with the prophets of Baal who were told that you pray, like they spent the whole day praying, cutting themselves, you know, getting into actions so that their God could hear them. And Elijah kept mocking them, like maybe he's out in vacation, or maybe he's sleeping, maybe you should scream more, you should shout more, because the God they were praying to was not listening to them. Why? Because he had no ears, he had no eyes, he could not see what was happening. It was an image that they had made for themselves. It was not a real God. And when Elijah went to his turn came in and he went and actually prayed to the God of the universe, the real God, he did not say much prayers, he did not cry for long, he just said one thing, a sentence, a phrase, and the fire came down from heaven and consumed the whole sacrifice, even the altar, even the water that had been drenched or in the trench around the altar. All of it got consumed, so that they may know that the Lord God is God. So that as you pray, you know, have the faith like Elijah. Do not think you are like the prophets of Baal. There were many, 450 prophets who had to cry and scream the whole day, cutting themselves and being mocked about their God who is not listening, who's not seeing them, who's not hearing to what they are saying. But we are praying to the God of Elijah, who a phrase is enough for him to hear you and answer you, so that he is there, he is God, he is enthroned on high, and there is no law above him, or there is no other person above him, and he does not consult anyone in order to act on you, because he is only one God. He never shares his glory with another. So as you pray, have it in mind that you're praying to a sovereign God, a God who is above it all, a God who can do it all, a God who nothing is too hard for him, nothing is impossible for him, and nothing is above him or above his power or beyond his power and his might. He controls everything. So he is sovereign God. And yes, that is what I wanted us to learn from this petition today. Understanding for yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory. And understanding that understanding that you are praying to a sovereign God, a God who is enthroned in his seat, who has ears to hear and eyes to see and mouth to speak, and has the power and the might to do according to what you have asked of him. And yes, we have come now to the complete end of the Lord's Prayer. So if there's anything else you want to add to it, or the encouragement you have received from this series, please write it down in the comment section. And I thank you for joining me today. And until we meet in another series and another teachings, may God be with you and keep you and help you understand and grasp more of his word and be able to gain the knowledge, the wisdom, and the insight of it. And I thank you, and may God bless you until we see each other again. Goodbye.